It's that time again. Time for another journal entry. So, as I said in the previous episode, yeah, I finished all leveling. I read like 80 chapters or something like that on Tuesday alone. Like, goddamn. And I can't really think of anything to like say besides like I really did like it. I'm glad that I finished it out. I mean, by the end, like I said, like the fights weren't really doing anything for me. It was more just what was everything else going on that was actually interesting. Like the powers and relationships between characters were great. By the end, I was kind of ready for it to be done. Like I felt like it was pretty good at where it ended. And then I read the special episodes and wasn't that big of a fan, honestly. I felt like it just didn't really feel needed at all. I don't really know. And then I started Ragnarock. I've kind of gone. Ragnarok's kind of had the same path as solo leveling did with me. At first, I was really just not into Ragnarok at all. It felt extremely similar and repetitive when compared to solo leveling. I felt like we're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Especially since, at first, Suho uses daggers like his father. But I gave it some more time. I decided to keep trying it. Especially since chapter 1's only like, or especially since season 1's only like, 48 chapters? And I got to liking them more and more. It's gotten a lot more interesting. I still don't know if I'd say it was necessarily needed or anything, but I am liking it. It's adding a lot of interesting things to the world, and I'm glad to see a lot of the characters again. I mean, we got to see Isol again, who I'm glad we got to see again. She was probably my favorite character that didn't get much to do in the original series, so I'm glad to see her again. The whole party member system and collecting the heirs to fight the Iterim is, I think, a really cool deviation and definitely a necessary one. Although so far they don't seem to be doing much besides being like MacGuffins. Like they help them fight and everything, but I don't know. Maybe later on they'll contribute more or something. I don't know. I like the idea of collecting the heirs, but so far that seems to be all. They're just there to join him and give him a skill, and it kind of feels like they're just there for story progression and such. And I guess that's not necessarily bad. I don't know. I feel like I feel like there should be more to that. I also continued Daughter of a Thousand Faces and actually ended up catching up where chapter 2 is currently. And holy shit, I'm really glad I decided to start reading it. It's quite good. I really like it a lot. We're getting a lot more. I mean, I was saying last time I got Lauren likes Swallowtail. We're getting Chutian lore. And we're seeing Yuhua. Her abilities have improved so much since she started. We're seeing the bond between her and Chutian. Like, we're seeing that bond be brought out into the open. And see they actually care for each other. Like, when she gets poisoned and the attack in the mind's like, oh, it's amazing. Alongside both groups of her companions, Chutian, the demon with 1,000 faces, meeting her normal companions. And I can't wait to see what this develops into later on. And now we're seeing a lot of her morality that's been hinted at and talked about come to the fray on if she's actually going to attack this bull village. Like, it's... Ooh. Unfortunately, I caught up on a week where there's a hiatus, but it's going to be worth the wait. It's a week. I don't care. I'll wait. I'll wait for that chapter. I don't care. And a lot of the art, especially with like some of the transformations that have been shown, beautiful. Definitely worth having started it. I also caught up with Kagurabachi, something I was planning on doing last week. And holy shit, I forgot just how good this series is. Every time I talk about Kagurabachi, it's one of those series where I have to talk about the art because I love it. It's so good like every time. Seeing Chihiro fight Samura, this might be my favorite fight in the series so far because he's just trying to get Samura to listen, to persuade Samura to that there's another way. I'll prove to you. I'll show you how you can live. Like, it's so good. On top of the weekly chapter from Sunday also expanding the fight further, I cannot wait to see. I'm so glad I caught up with the series, and I can't wait to see what comes next, as always. For a bunch of the other weekly chapters, I mean, Akane-Banashi, the Zoom Prize it's heating up, it's starting, and I'm excited. We're finally getting into the actual competition itself, and nothing huge yet, just the beginning of the competition. I can't wait. One Piece, the chapter this week wasn't anything big for me personally, but it was pretty big lore-wise with Loki's backstory. There's a lot there, but nothing that was like huge for me personally, but is obviously going to be huge going forward and for Loki as a character. Just typical Oda development stuff. Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. So that's not how I expected the Yuta fight to end. I'm not sure how I feel about it in a lot of ways. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not sure how I feel about Yuta's whole thing as a whole, honestly, but especially the end of the fight, I'm not really sure that I like it at all, honestly. But I'm willing to wait and see more. And that's going to happen because we still got the rest of the Black Parade going on. I also decided to pick DanDaDan back up. I wasn't too far behind, only like, I think maybe 10 chapters. Honestly, maybe I should have read a little previous to where I was before, because I did not remember anything. But just look at Kagurabachi. I'm always have to talk about the art with DanDaDan. It's so good. And just based off, everything that happened within the 10 chapters I read, it's great. I'm glad I'm back on DanDaDan. It's so good. That's all I gotta say about DanDaDan. It's good. It's DanDaDan. Yeah, that's more or less it. I do plan on like starting something new. Like I'm trying to narrow down like the next series I want to start, preferably a finished one. I'm kind of narrowing down like the like 3 or 4 choices I want to decide between. I do want to actually try to commit to at least continuing Golden Sun and Signalis this week. I know I mentioned it in last week's episode, and just for a few different reasons did not get around to either of those, as well as like talking about other people with their backlogs. Like I might have some friends on or something like that for episodes soon or something, or hopefully people talk in the Discord and the channel for that. I mean, I don't know if you have recommendations or you want to talk about shit, say so. See you next week, I guess.